Once upon a time, there lived a young girl with a heart filled with dreams of meeting her handsome prince and being swept off her feet, falling head over heels in love with each other, leading to a life filled with happiness and success, and born of this match made in heaven, having a family and living happily ever after. Now, this was my dream when I was a young girl. I think I might have even thought it might be possible to have an actual prince fall in love with me. This fantasy didn't feel like too much of a stretch for me when I was a child. I had a really furtive imagination, to say the least. How about you? Did you have a similar fantasy as a young girl? Was your head filled with fanciful notions of having Prince Charming come along and sweep you off your feet? Maybe you were a little more grounded than me and you thought of Prince Charming just being that tall, dark, handsome stranger who was noble and treated you like a princess. I always ask my guests to tell me what the title of this podcast, Tiaras, Tears and Triumphs, means to them. And every time I am given a different answer. But up until now, I don't think that I have told you why I decided to call this podcast Tiaras, Tears and Triumphs. So today is the day. This week, on this week's episode, I'll be diving deep into the psychology behind the title, but more importantly, how you can use this to transform your mind, your mindset, and your life. And this episode is going to lead into next week's episode, which asks the question, is your prince Prince Charming or is he Prince Harming? The first thing I want to say is that this podcast is all about you. I created this podcast because I wanted to provide vulnerable women with a safe space to tune in whenever it is okay for them to do this, so that they have something to connect to in times of isolation. So knowing that I'm not knowing exactly what it is like to be isolated because of an abusive partner who played a game of cat and mouse and was constantly keeping tabs on everything I did, making it almost impossible for me to connect with people who were able to support me with the challenges I was facing, is my why for creating this podcast, which is a resource for you to have at least some friendly voices sharing information and possible solutions to help you with your challenges and to help you to connect with the right supports, to help you to stay sane, which I know can be super challenging, and to help you find the strength to just keep going, to help you keep going, as I said, even when you have had enough and you just want to give up. Now, I also know how hard it is to break away. I mean, really break away and eventually break free from the cycle of abuse. That's another reason why this resource is here for you, to find some light, to shine through the cracks in the darkness that surrounds you, to find at least one step forward that you can make right now. So if this podcast can be like a car that's driving at night with headlights on, showing you just enough of the road ahead to go forward on the road, knowing that even though you can't see a long way off, at least you can see the next bit of the road you need to travel down, rather than feeling like you're driving down a road at night in a car with no lights on, not wanting to go forward because you can't see in front of you at all. You become fearful, you become frozen, and you just can't see a way forward. So you stay stuck there feeling powerless to move. So if this is what's happening for you, and this podcast is like that car with the lights on at night, just allowing you to see that next little part of the road that you need to travel on, then this podcast is really serving its purpose. So I know, as much as I want to help every woman, and I am on a mission to help as many women as I can who have been impacted by abuse. I know that I can't possibly help everyone with my one-on-one coaching program. I know that anyone who is caught in a cycle of abuse is still in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you need the support of specialist domestic violence support services, of which there are many all around the world, and they are ready, willing, and able to help you. So you need to travel down that road that I was talking about before, that road that's going to help you to break away, that road that's going to help you to break free, and to be ready to work with me on rebuilding and recreating an empowered life on the other side of abuse. So that's the stage where you can come and work with me one-on-one. Up until then, you've got the resource of the podcast. There are many, many other things that I have on offer, including my workshop that you can tap into and do before you're even there wanting to go and do this program with me. So here is my take on tiaras, tears, and triumphs. And after that, next week, I'm going to go deep and talk about, is your partner or your ex-partner, is he Prince Charming or is he Prince Harming? Okay, so let's start with tiaras.